Whatever it is you are trying to build, if you won't sacrifice for it, if you won't be hungry for it, you don't have the right to get it until you will stay up at night and read and work and pray to get to be whoever it is you are trying to be. You have not got the right.
Success ain't free. They ain't passing out money, man. Anybody sending none to your house. You got to go get it.
That is you. That no one can do it for you but you. You must understand that.
Being successful is not an accident. You know what I can't stand when I hear Christians say, if it was the Lord's will, I would have had some money by now. No. You can't dump that on God. Don't dump that on him.
Look at somebody and say, it'll work if you work it. What is your goal and how much work will you put into it in order to get what you're trying to get from God? How much? I've been wondering why it didn't happen. Nobody ever taught me how much it costs. Greatness is expensive, and it doesn't happen overnight for most people. Yes, there are 1 or 2 people. The rest of us have to work it.
God got a great life for you, man, but you got to want something. What you waiting on? Write it down. Put some faith on it, and then get ready to go to work. He said faith without works is dead.
Every discouraged person, every person who's been feeling like it's just not worth it, this was your message. This was your message. You think you can wish your way up? You cannot wish your way up. It will work if you work.
Here's why activity is so important. It finally produces the miracle of reality. Yes, we need to be architects for the future, but the architect needs the bricklayer. Unless somebody is willing to lay bricks, then the entity is never accomplished. No matter how smart you are, nothing much happens in terms of results until you put it into action. So get going.
The dreams God has placed in your heart are not going to come to pass without delays, without people trying to talk you out of it. But if you're going to reach your destiny, you have to have a made-up mind. There should be something you're believing for that you are relentless. Your attitude is, if I have to believe my whole life, I'm not going to stop believing. I'm not going to settle for mediocrity. I'm going to keep pursuing what God put in my heart. It's more than just your will. It's a fire on the inside, a knowing that it's supposed to be yours. Normal people would give up, but you're not normal. You want it on another level. I am not quitting. I am not settling for mediocrity. I'm going to become who God says I am. How bad do you want what God has put in your heart? Bad enough to outlast the opposition? Do you want it bad enough to keep pursuing even when circumstances say it's not going to happen? If you're overcome by problems, you let people talk you out of it, you're not going to have the strength to sustain where God is taking you. Don't have a weak mentality, have a warrior mentality. You have to dig your heels in and say, I am in this for the long haul. I will accomplish my dream. I will meet the right person. You're not moved by what's not working out or by who's not for you. You know who is for you, the Most High God. If you're going to see what you're believing for, you have to be willing to do what other people won't do. Other people may settle where they are. Well, I put in 3 applications. All 3 companies turned me down. Well, I dated 2 girls. Both of them told me I wasn't their type. When the odds are against you, you have to want it on a new level. How bad do you want that promotion? Bad enough to get to work early? Bad enough to do more than what's required? I don't want to take another course. I don't want more work. I just want the promotion. You don't want it bad enough. There are new levels in front of us, but much of it depends on how bad we want it. God is not going to do everything for us. We have to do our part. I don't have any energy. God, I'm always so tired. Are you eating right? Are you exercising? Do you want to get well bad enough to not drink 43 colas a day and sleep 3 hours a night? When He sees you doing all you can, then He'll make things happen that you can't. Life is flying by. We don't get a do-over. This is it. You're destined to leave your mark. You weren't created to fit in. Now do your part and distinguish yourself. Be willing to do what others won't do. One of the saddest things is to come to the end of life and wonder what I could have become. You don't have to wonder. You can start right now.
All of us are 6 inches from success. Don't allow the odds to discourage you. Most people accept the life that they had been given. This life that was working a job that was not just to pay the bills I didn't like, but at the same time, I didn't want to get fired.
I was so sick of myself. I was so bored in my life, man. I was so tired of being mediocre. I was losing my mind, man. Going door to door selling life insurance at a debit company. You ever say to yourself, man, it's got to be more to my life than this? If you've ever said that, that's because it is.
There's a part of you that's waiting for you to come, saying, come, I'm waiting for you. Make some decisions so that you can live your authentic life, so that you can step out of a job that's not you. You were not born to live a boring life. Come on.
If normal is getting on your nerves, then you got to change something.
See, once you commit yourself, the how will come. Most people are just satisfied to where they are. 87% of people go to jobs that they hate. People say life is short. No, life isn't short. It's just too many people take too long to start living. I wasted a lot of valuable time with a lot of people who really didn't deserve to be in my life. You want to get around the right people. You want to be intentional at creating special moments. You want to be intentional in taking care of yourself. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. It's not what you don't have, it's what you think you need that keeps you from being successful.
Now, you may have some good enough areas in your life, but don't stop there. Keep believing for the fullness of what God promised. God has some of these who would have ever thought blessings coming your way. Thoughts will tell you all the reasons why it's not going to happen for you. You're too old. You don't have the talent, the resources. None of that stops our God.
Winter comes after fall. Night comes after day. Difficulty follows opportunity. Recession always comes after expansion. It's been the rhythm of life for the last 6,000 years of recorded history. So the winters are going to come. The winter of sickness, the winter of disappointment, the winter of devastation, social winters, economic winters, personal winters when your heart is smashed in 1,000 pieces and the nights are unusually long. It's simply called wintertime. But the winters are inevitable. So it has been for the last 6,500 years recorded history. You say, well, Mr. Rohn, what can I do about the winters of life?
That as you go through the challenges of life and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. See, if you easy come, easy what? Easy go.
And literally what I've learned in these moments is that I have to stop listening to myself and I have to start talking to myself. I'm like, Rich, you're great. I'm like, look in the mirror like, you can do this. Rich, you can handle this. Rich, this is not a big deal. Rich, this will pass. You're amazing. Rich, this too shall pass.
You got to find ways to increase your sense of self-appreciation, because if you don't, you're bombarded with negative stuff every day that beats you down, and you will find yourself unconsciously engaged in self-destructive behavior. If you don't program yourself, life will program you.
There's two sides of pain. There's one side of pain that's the suffering and the discomfort side of pain. But then there's another side of pain that's called effort. It's called glory. And if you never tap into it, it's because the first time you felt it, you backed off. The first time you felt, that that burn, the first time you feel that it's too much. And we rationalize with ourselves to where we automatically stop. That's why a bunch of us give up so much in life so quickly. But suppose I told you the greatest pain of my life is the reason I'm standing here today. See, sometimes we think the pain is what controls us. It's actually our subconscious mind that if we ever tapped into that, that's what dictates most of our lives.
You got to get grounded. You got to train your mind to serve you. Just make up your mind. This is not going to control you.
You have got to make a declaration. This is what you stand for. You're standing up for your dreams. You're standing up for peace of mind. You're standing up for health. You want it. And you're going to go all out to have it. It's not going to be easy. When you want to change, it's not easy. If it were in fact easy, everybody would do it. But if you're serious, you'll go all out and say, in spite of this, I'm in control here. I'm going to turn this situation around. I'm not going to sit back and moan and cry over what happened and what went wrong and who did what. I'm going to do something about this situation.
When God gives you a dream, the dream will always be tested. The pressure in your life right now has a purpose. It's not crushing you. It's pushing what's on the inside of you out. It shows you who you are.
It's a dog fight. It hasn't been easy. It's a dog